Good evening, fans of Dota 2. My name is Badger. I am once again here for some League of Lads Season 6 action. We have here a regular season matchup between the Funny Zone and 5 Average Dudes. Should be a fairly decent matchup. I'm just pulling up the standings real fast just to double check here. So we have two teams that are literally right next to each other in the scoreboard currently. The Funny Zone has 2 series wins, 2 series losses, and a series tie for a 5-5 total record, while 5 Average Dude has 1 series win, 2 series losses, and 2 series tied for a 4-6 overall record. So these are teams with a very, very similar record. Both these teams trying to get into one of those last playoff spots. Need to pick up some wins very soon, so for both of these teams, there's certainly a lot on the line here if you want to make those playoffs. I believe I have casted both of these teams before this season. I know I've definitely casted 5 Average Dudes a few times. I think I've casted Funny Zone, but maybe I haven't casted Funny Zone. Either way, I am here. I am here for Dota 2. Looking at bans, relatively standard. Strong Heroes being banned, Coddle, Monkey King, Nyx, Puck all being banned. Earth Spirit being picked into a Grimstroke response. Earth Spirit, certainly a good hero. And I mean, you get the Oracle as well, so you have a 5 save support right away with the Oracle. There's already a lot of supports being picked here. None of the strong cores being prioritized. So might see 5 Average Dudes just pick one of their core heroes here. There is still OD and Death Prophet. Neither hero has been touched in this first phase. They'll instead go for the Ursa, though. Certainly a hero who lanes well with the Grimstroke. Certainly a hero who can man-fight basically any hero in Dota 2. Obviously, Oracle has some counterplay, but then again, Ursa also has counterplay into Oracle, where you just go in there and you hit the Oracle until the Oracle dies. Which, considering it's an Oracle, if you say have, I don't know, Blink Abyssal on Ursa, that can be in about 1.5 seconds. But regardless, first phase is done. We are going to get into this all-important second ban phase. We're now going to see a lot of core heroes being banned out. Sand King, Medusa both being banned out. Medusa is a hero I think I'm not really sure what to think about just yet. It's a hero we've seen almost like an upswing in being played recently. A hero that we really didn't see that much when the patch started, but suddenly we're seeing it in DPC. We're seeing it a bit in these like 5k, 6k type divine/immortal pubs. It's a hero who certainly scales pretty well into the game, but not today. I say see, but we actually will not be seeing it today. Regardless, it looks like 5 Average Dudes is going to pick up, ban out some cores that are possibly going to cause damage to this Ursa. Obviously, Dusa not a hero who can be really easily bursted down by Ursa. Dusa a hero who can itemize in order to counter an Ursa. Funny Zone, meanwhile, taking out the OD. Obviously, very strong hero in the patch, as well as taking out Sand King, who is one of the premier offlaners still. And 5 Average Dudes is banning out Alchemist. Let's just double check some Dota buff real fast. See if I'm just gonna see if Funny Zone plays that a lot, because that's. Let's just see here. Have they picked some Alchemist this season? They have not picked much Alchemist. If they have, yeah, they have not picked Alchemist. But it appears as though they're just like, we don't want to deal with the Alchemist. Very strong timing window based hero. Kind of an annoying hero to kill regardless. Funny Zone instead banning out the Shaman. Strong support hero. Hero who can lane well with Ursa if you want to put the Grimstroke in the offlane. A hero who's pretty annoying for Earth Spirit to trade with in the lane if you put him that way. Not a great hero for Oracle to trade with either. Oracle has more attack range, but Shaman has a little shackle. Shaman has higher attack damage. But instead, we'll see actual draft action happen. Riki being banned out into a Lich response. So that's probably your Ursa lane right there. Ursa plus Lich into Earth Spirit +1. So now, if you're Funny Zone, you're thinking, alright, what offlaner can we pick that can lane into Ursa and into Lich? That's certainly easier said than done, to be honest. That's a pretty destructive lane for any offlaner. They could go for Mars, and they can spear away the Ursa. but it's still not a great situation. Though if you get 6 on the Mars before you get 6 on the Ursa, well, that's a dead Ursa thanks to Mars ulti, so there's options there. Beastmaster is an option as well. Having the Roar is nice. You can use the Boar plus the Earth Spirit to carry the Lich relatively efficiently. I'm not sure if any don't play Beastmaster. We will instead see Batrider get picked. Very, very strong hero in the current patch. Hero that farms very well. Hero that has BKB piercing stuns, which will be relevant considering Ursa will almost certainly buy a BKB at some point this game. It's a hero you can flex between the 2 and the 3, which is very, very useful. It means that Funny Zone has some ambiguity in their draft, at the very least until their last pick. So now Fire Red dudes have to both plan for they have to plan for a mid lane bat as a potential, even though it could be an off lane bat. And they'll just pick a strong, standard sort of offlaner. They will pick Mars. I believe Beast of US East has a good amount of Mars games this season. Let's just go over at Dota Buff. Let's just pull up 5 average dudes. Let's see here. Yeah, they have got 3 games. He's got 3 games on Mars this season. 1 and 2 win rate, but sometimes you lose Dota games. Something I am familiar with. Either way, we are now looking at this, probably a carry pick for Funny Zone, knowing that it's going to be a Mars plus Grimstroke lane. Gotta think, alright, what carries can we pick that can lane into Mars plus Grimstroke? The obvious pick seems to be Juggernaut. It is still on the table, has a BKB option, can spin to dodge the spear, can spin to dodge the Inkswell damage, can just be an annoying hero in general. And they will go for the Troll instead. Certainly a good option. Not as able to survive once Mars gets 6, but still has a very good defensive option in that Battle Trance. He's a hero who can harass out the Mars, probably even better than the Jug can. Even though Jug probably has more kill potential with the spin, Troll Warrior can very easily harass with both the range and the melee form, with both the range and the melee axes. So it's a very good pick. And probably not a hero that Grimstroke Mars can effectively force out of lane, and even if they do, a hero that can head into the jungle around, what, level 5 or so pretty easily. So, shouldn't be a big deal for the Troll. And looking at a Troll Oracle lane into a Mars Grimstroke, that's a good lane for Funny Zone. And now if you're Fire Red dudes, you have to think, alright, well, what do we need to ban out? And they're thinking, alright, Batrider's probably an offlaner. Let's ban out Invoker. Maybe ban out another middle laner. And that ban indicates they're thinking the Batrider is offlane. Obviously, it's still flexible. Batrider's certainly a hero who can play mid. And Funny Zone banning out both the Slark and the Storm. Slark, a hero who can purge off the Batrider stacks, certainly, as well as a hero who can just be very, very annoying in general. And Storm, they don't have the best disable for Storm at the current point. Yeah, probably have to commit a lasso to really effectively find a Storm. Earth Spirit hypothetically can do it if he's playing very well, but you have to be on point on your Earth Spirit to really be catching a Storm that easily, especially later into the game. Meanwhile, Power Dude's banning out the Invoker, banning out the DP. Okay, we're going to see a Batrider middle. Unless for some reason we're seeing an Enigma middle, which I doubt highly. So we've got Batrider middle, we've got Enigma offlane. We're looking at Enigma Earth Spirit into Ursa plus Lich. Certainly a decent option. You have kill potential with the 6 Eidolons if you can get them to hit enough times. But worst case scenario, you can just deny the range creeps and delay Ursa's Battle Fury timing, delay Ursa's level 6, just be a bother in general. And now for average dudes, you have to think, alright, well, what are we going to do into Batrider? Because Batrider's a hero who's really seen an upswing in the last month or so, because he farms so effectively. Thanks to the changes in Dota, both to Sticky Napalm and to creeps in general, these two changes combined together to be very, very good for Batrider to just be annoying and farm extremely effectively, especially on that Radiant side, being able to farm the Tri-Camp extremely early into the game. So even if Fire Red dudes pick a good lane counter to Batrider, they're not necessarily going to be able to delay Batrider having, say, a good timing on like Boots of Travel plus Blink, or whatever Koryak decides to go on his mid Batrider. So I'm actually curious to see how they're going to approach this. in terms of how are they going to approach the game in general playing into Batrider. They don't have the greatest defensive saves. Like, say if they have the Oracle, that'd be the very obvious save into the Batrider. Or if they have like an OD type hero, they can very easily do that. But there really isn't much room in their draft to pick a hero who can do that. I'm not even sure what mid they would even want to pick, hypothetically, to do that. So we simply just aren't going to see much defensive saves into the Lasso. They will instead just pick a Leshrac, hero who can apply a lot of pressure to towers, hero who does a lot of AoE damage, has some crowd control, both slow and stun. I like it. I like the Lesh pick. I think there's going to be a point in the game in which the 5-average dude should be able to 5-man, and Funny Zone might not be fully ready to fight on the Troll just yet. Because Troll this game probably wants, what, like B-Fury plus Yasha plus BK to be able to fight? So that you're looking at that point, what, 11,000 gold or so with treads, 12,000 with Wraithband plus wand. Can 5-average dudes end the game at that point? Maybe. Get an Aegis, get a BKB on Lesh, get like B-Fury Blink on Ursa? I don't know. The more I think about it, I think Funny Zone is the overall better draft here. I think they have a lineup that does very, very well here in terms of just AoE crowd control. I think they have enough room to make the Troll Warlord succeed. I think conceptually their draft makes a lot of sense. The question is, can 5-average dudes counter what Funny Zone have to do? I think Funny Zone have a very coherent plan here, so I'm curious to see how the lanes go. Obviously, the lanes are a big, big deal in terms of the way the game turns out. Alright, here we go. Got my water, got my Dr. Pepper. I am ready to commentate. If you're curious who's playing what, the scoreboard is open right now. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think there's any stand-ins tonight, but honestly, don't quote me on that one. Either way, though, we're seeing lines being drawn. Looks like we're going to see Funny Zone do a little bit of running into their own jungle. They do have a ward on Batrider. That's going to go middle. Where's their other ward? It's on the Earth Spirit. Not sure where that's going to go just yet. Possibly top lane, but at around minute 1 or so. Looking at Dire, they're headed over. 5-average dudes, they're running into the Radiant jungle as well. They have a ward on Grimstroke. Their other ward obviously being placed around the middle lane or so. Funny Zone, they are leaving this high ground. They shouldn't be able to see, yeah, they're unable to see each other just yet. Neither team is in vision. Though Dire does have that ward, they will see first if Funny Zone goes forward. Still on the high ground. They will see them now. So they are aware, at least Troll and the Oracle. They are going forward. They are looking for a kill with the 4 heroes being positioned down there. Will Funny Zone fall for the death here? Maybe. Beast of US East goes in. He's Inkswalled, doing a lot of damage to Smiley. Already half HP. Stun is there from Peripheral. That'll be a first blood to Beast of US East on that Mars, on the Troll Warlord. Great start there for 5-average dudes. And they are chasing a little bit onto Aurora's Oracle, but you're not finding that man just yet today. Once again, that's a very good ward there from the Dire. They saw the 2 heroes sitting there, and they said, you know what, we are ready to go over here, go for a kill, with 4, and they're just enabling their Mars. Getting off to a very good start. If he wants to go Bracer, he's got it very soon. If he wants to go Boots, he's got it very soon. It's an overall good start. There's a D-ward middle lane, Lich placing the sentry down, D-warding Korriak's Observer ward. Bit unfortunate for him on that Batrider, but I'm sure he'll be okay. Leshrac, as expected, has that magic stick, is laning as a Batrider, so it makes a lot of sense to have that. Looks like we still have 3 heroes bottom lane. There's a roll in out the CB. Will miss, however. There's the Overvenom, but there will be no pursuit. The question is, do they stick with the tri-lane? They are currently 3 bottom. There is a TP on Earth Spirit if they want to commit to it. But we don't really see too many tri-lanes in the current year of our Lord 2021. Either way, though, if it works, it works, and it could be the idea, right? We're going to trade with these supports over here one-on-one, and then hypothetically zone out the Mars. But the Mars is still in this lane getting some creeps. He is 4 and 0, so if the goal is to shut this man down, it isn't very successful. Looking over at mid, As expected, both heroes farming, Koryak and Peripheral. Relatively even CS right now. Radiant have not made any stacks yet. There were some spells used bottom, but ultimately, this is Sal being forced from CB. Wouldn't be surprised if Radiant go to stack soon. Alright, so Earth Spirit has TP top lane as expected. Might see some stacks in this tri-camp area very soon. Not sure just yet. A little bit of brawling going on in this jungle, but once again, nothing of too much effect there. Ursa is harassing Jax on this Enigma. There is a roll-in from Baboon. Will not hit. Will be hitting with the Orb of Venom and the Malefice stun, though. PMA is relatively low. They are hitting with the Eidolons, but not enough damage. Notorious not there for that fight, thanks to being at the pole camp. We saw a little bit of a dive middle from Koryak, but he does not have Flame Break. Only 4 stacks on Peripheral. That's a bit of a hard dive. He's taking a lot of damage, though, from that Firefly. But Leshrac will be fine. Yeah, more trading bottom lane. Marsh taking a lot of damage. Beast of US East, though, does have a Salve, does have 5 Tango, so he'll be absolutely fine. Supports trading top, but Baboon rolls away. Grabs the bounty rune that's still there, actually, at minute 2, but sometimes they're a little bit too busy to grab bounty runes. Surprised nobody grabbed it before that, but I guess nobody's in the area for a while. Just a little bit of trading in the side lanes. We are seeing Lich out-trade the Earth Spirit, but Earth Spirit's this as a Sal. He'll be fine. Looking over at individual CS, currently Radiant are ahead in all 3 lanes by a small margin in each lane. Once again, we're looking at a few last hits in each lane, but sometimes every little bit counts. Baboon is in the side, might look for a roll-in play, but yeah. Meanwhile, we are seeing Smiley and Aurora go on to the Grimstroke bottom. They do get a kill. That is second kill of the game, first kill for the Radiant side. And they will be another trade in the top lane. Notorious and PMA both taking a lot of damage. Malefice is there in 6, but they're not going to need it. Notorious simply will die there. Too much damage coming out from the Radiant. And as the lanes progress, it's going better and better for Funny Zone. Right now, they are at a 1k advantage. Once again, leading in CS in all 3 lanes. Might see a kill attempt mid lane. There are 5 stacks on Peripheral. The stun will miss, as will the boulder from Earth Spirit. Koryak taking a bit of damage from the Edict. There are still 7 stacks on Lesh, but they will now expire. Stun is there. Illusion Rune popped, ultimately not necessary. Nobody will die. Simply a lot of mana will be expended. Looks like Enigma is going to possibly contest this pull here. He is making Eidolons out of his Eidolons. Might just force Lich away from this camp, cause some issues there. Yeah, a little bit of a Frost Blast being thrown out. Roll is there onto Notorious. They might go for a kill here. The Rock is kicked, and it will be another kill onto Notorious. Once again to Jack's attack. He's now 2-0. Bounties, they are spawning. One will head to Aurora bottom, and it will be a 3-for-1 bounty trade with both of them going to the Earth Spirit and the Batrider top lane. Overall, though, things are going very well for Radiant. They are winning the economy game in these lanes. They have taken a first blood advantage for the Dire and turned it into a 1k advantage for themselves. Smiley, he's being gone on bottom, but there's a stun. Is there a spear? There is no spear. There's a slow from Smiley to going to Beast of US East, doing a lot of damage. In comes the roll. Koryak dies mid lane meanwhile somehow, but either way, that will be a kill onto Namarj. They might go on to CB, but yeah, no more follow-up. Looks like there was a bit of a trade there from Koryak and Peripheral. Both of them had a lot of damage. Batrider perhaps thought he had the kill, but instead he ended up dying. Completely missed that action in the mid lane, looking at the action in the bottom lane. Probably should have checked on it anyways, but sometimes you just miss the action in the mid lane. Either way, though, very good kill for Peripheral. Very important for him in this lane. Allows him to pull ahead there. Delays the Batrider's items, delays his levels, delays him just having a game impact by that little bit, killing him right then and there. And he's still staying in this lane as well. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't completely headed to the jungle yet, but there has been no stacking done there. I have noticed a lot of these DPC teams, they are stacking the Ancient Camp, they are stacking this Hard Camp, they're allowing their Batrider to accelerate very heavily, but there has been no stacking from the Funny Zone yet tonight. So I suppose Koryak is more forced to play both in the mid lane and in this little shallow jungle area. Oh, never mind, they once again killed Lich top lane. Once again, as expected, Malphite stun plus roll, and there's not much he can do to stay alive there. Apparently he melted before I could really get there in time to watch it. Yeah, a bit of pulls going down bottom lane. Was initially done by the Dire, obviously being contested by this Troll. He'll farm it up very easily. And there is now 2 supports bottom lane contesting this Troll. They are 3 bottom. Back to top lane, they will capitalize on PMA, but there is no kill there. He doesn't have any regen, but there's also no follow-up kill. Earth Spirit, though, has headed bottom. We're going to see a 3v3 brawl, perhaps. The Axes will miss some Smiley, so maybe there will be no kill just yet from either team. Looking at Dire Vision, they have not seen the Earth Spirit just yet, but they might have an idea thanks to this ward of his TP. Did not see if it was in range. They will go on Notorious. Roll is there. He'll certainly die. Is there more is the question. Looks like it'll simply be 1 kill there on 2 Notorious. Yeah, Notorious having a rough laning phase, 0 and 4 currently, but there's not much you can particularly do this game as Lich. Earth Spirit, certainly a hero who can be very annoying to you, do a lot of damage. Oracle, high damage hero. And Jack's attack is being run at. He is actually out of mana, so no Black Hole or Malefice today. Looking over at items, we are seeing Koryak go for the Boots of Travel first on Batrider as expected. Looking at his counterpart, he is going for a possibly Bloodstone first, not particularly sure just yet. Has a Soul Booster queued up for now. Looking at the offlaners, nothing yet queued up on this Mars. Looking over at the Enigma, he has queued up a Midas, we'll have it very soon. Looking over at carries, Smiley is being gone on bottom. Steel's Battle Trance has that stick, but he is silenced. Tries to get it off him in time, but instead he will just die bottom lane. Looks like he's going for a Maelstrom. He should have something on the Courier. He's a Javelin on the Courier. We'll go Maelstrom first. We'll not opt for that BKB. Looking over at PMA, as expected, going for the Battle Fury. Nothing queued up beyond that. I'm going to brief look at supports, but supports probably aren't going to have items for a while anyways. Speaking of supports, they are fighting bottom lane. Aurora probably going to die here, but the question is, can they get counter kills? He finally has a piece of US East. Gaze is there onto Koryak, but he's now there. That's a kill there onto CB. Looking for Notorious. Can they kill him? He's actually still alive. So only 1-for-1 trade here. PMA goes into Jack's attack, but Jack's attack simply TPing away. No cancels there on that TP. Overall, 1-for-1 trade. Had they have had more mana, would have been a 2-for-1 trade in favor of the Radiant, but they did not have the mana for Flaming Lasso bottom. There were no Arcane Boots available to be used, and the only hero with mangoes was dead. Looking over at hero net worth as we come to that 10-minute mark, Leshrac is on top, followed by the Radiant Chorus, followed by the remaining Dire Chorus. PMA off to a rough laning phase. We're seeing the Enigma effect firsthand. A lot of creeps simply being denied, simply impacting his ability to accelerate there on that hard carry Ursa. And as Jack's attack stays in the lane, continually applies pressure, you just keep seeing him suffer economically. There was a smoke by Radiant, but they might not find anybody. There will be a last on the peripheral. Is there counter? There's a shield from Lich. In comes Earth Spirit with the roll. They're doing a lot of damage to Leshrac, but he's not dead just yet. They need a little more damage, and the kill will go to Koryak. Chain Frost is there. We'll get a counter kill onto Baboon. Lich dropping low. Lich will die. 2 kills to Koryak on that Batrider. And as that happened, Jack's attack on the Enigma died in the top lane. Solo killed by the Ursa. Ursa, sick of Enigma being annoying. Meanwhile, Mars ulti was used middle lane. Counter kill there onto Aurora. And overall, it's a 3-for-2 across the map, 2-for-2 in the mid lane, solo kill by the Ursa in the top lane. Overall, certainly good there for the 5 average dudes. But as it currently stands, they are still down by 2k, they are still down by 2 kills as well. Looking over at smoke status, we did see one smoke used by Radiant. They simply used it to go for a kill onto Leshrac mid lane. Ultimately wasn't really necessary. It was the Invis rune plus the lasso that did it. And PMA taking a little bit of damage top lane, but he'll be fine. Yeah, completely fine there. I'm looking over for smokes. There are 2 smokes on Notorious, so they might go smoke up with this Lich plus 2 probably, maybe Grimstroke plus the Mars soon. Smiley going on the Mars bottom. Mars has that magic wand, but is lacking spells. Meanwhile, top lane, Aurora taking a bit of damage. He disarms PMA. Purge is there, as is False Promise. Can they kill PMA? Roll is there, and Rage is on cooldown. Now, and Black Hole's even committed. The Leash is there. It's on the Earth Spirit and on the Oracle. Gaze onto 2, but Chain Frost is still on cooldown. Notorious probably going to die again before Chain Frost is available. Yeah, he will die. And in the meanwhile, I'm assuming Mars just walked away. Yeah, use that magic wand. Might use Spear as well. Either way, simply walked away from the action. Overall, bit of a disastrous fight there for 5 average dudes top. Had cooldowns been slightly different, would have been a double Chain Frost. Possibly a huge turn there, but instead, they lose PMA and lose Notorious. And the only thing that Radiant lose is that Black Hole cooldown, but they don't need the Black Hole to push that top tower. They are bringing in the Beast of the US East, possibly to defend this tower. Does have that arena if he wants to defend. There are only 2 Radiant attackers, and Smiley on Troll is TPing to mid lane. So there are only 2 Radiant heroes top. Dire seem to have an idea. They are going forward. Arena is available, not used just yet. Meanwhile, middle lane, they are going on Notorious, and he'll once again die. Chain Frost was thrown out, but he'll, as he has this game, tragically fall victim to the Radiant heroes who get on top of him and do a lot of damage. Aurora is caught in the arena, but Smiley is there. Arena simply committed for nothing, but now Radiant looking to get some kind of kills. Flamebreak is on CB. Lasso is up. He is silenced. Silence is broken, and as the Inkswell stun ends, they will at least look for the Grimstroke kill here. Marspear drags Koryak back. Down goes CB on Grimstroke, but is there a turn? In comes Peripheral. He's TP'd in. Has finished Soul Booster. Stun will miss. But Koryak still has Lasso, so this could still be a good fight for the Radiant. Gaze is there onto Baboon. And there's a slow into Leshrac, but it looks like the Mars will be the get. That's 2 kills now for the Funny Zone, and now Notorious once again dead. Roll through, almost go down to Peripheral, but perhaps a roll that he did not want to commit. The XD being put in the all chat by Smiley, so a little bit of bad manage going on there. Overall, though, Funny Zone, they have a lot of momentum. They are currently all 3 of the top net worth cores. Troll on top, quickly followed by the Batrider and the Enigma. Leshrac relatively keeping up, but the Mars and the Ursa certainly far behind their Radiant side counterparts. And even the supports, thanks to all this AoE teamfight gold and tower gold, ahead as well. Looking at the Oracle and the Earth Spirit, they're not really close to any items just yet, but they are ahead in levels compared to their dire counterparts, are ahead in gold as well. There was a smoke as well from the Radiant. I'm not sure to what effect, necessarily. A little bit of laughing in the chat, so possibly a mistake on the smoke, but either way. Radiant will be content grabbing 2 bounties top lane. Dire probably will grab the 2 in the bottom lane. Yeah. Actually, they'll only grab the 1 so far, but I'm sure they'll eventually get around to it. Yeah, looking over at the Leshrac, as expected, he is finishing the Bloodstone. Has it somewhat soon. Still a good bit away, actually. Either way, though, Radiant once again grouped as 3. Black Hole is up. Is there a smoke? Actually, there is no smoke, but they might just group anyways. Possibly stay as a team and do some team action. Alright, there's a smoke. Smoke onto 3. Dire, they are picking out Smiley, but they aren't actually aware of the smoke. Dire do scan, so they know Smiley's headed top lane, but they might not be aware it's happening middle lane. They go into PMA, Black Hole is committed, he goes down, but here comes the arena. It's on 3, Soulbind is on 2, Chain Frost is there, the double Chain Frost doing so much damage, Baboon goes down, Aurora goes down, Jack's attack was False Promise, but he'll probably simply die here as well. The question is, can they kill Koryak? The answer is maybe. Is there a stun? There's a blink in from Beast of US East. Spear will miss, juked out by Koryak, and he goes over the trees, but there's still more dire heroes. Lasso is there. Silence. It is actually disjointed there, I think. Either way, though, stun is there from Leshrac onto Koryak. That's 4 kills for 5 average dudes. Smiley will come in, get a kill on CB. And now he still has Battle Trance, looking for some kind of counter kills. But overall, it is a 4-for-2 trade. Earth Spirit was looking for a hero on the retreat, unable to find any heroes going down. They all went up. An overall great team fight for 5 average dudes. They did lose their carry, PMA, right away to that black hole, but it was a very good counter initiation from the Mars. Had the 3-man arena. Not sure if Radiant knew about the blink or not. I didn't know about it, so either way, very good play from the beast himself of the US East Dota 2 server. Either way. Despite a very good fight, though, for 5 average dudes, the story basically is the same. Their cores are behinds. Radiant cores are ahead. But now Radiant, they don't have any smokes left, I don't think. They've used a lot of smokes this game, not to great effect. And they have taken these important Tier 1 towers, but have not committed into major Tier 2 tower push or Roshan just yet. They are sitting around the Roshan pit. There might possibly be a Roshan soon, but nah, they're just running the creeps. Dire, they are somewhat grouped, but looks like they're content to farm for now. They're still trying to farm this Ursa up. He only has that Battle Fury. Is headed for the S and Y afterwards. So he won't be online for a little bit longer. And they are actually smoking, but this Radiant Ward here, I believe placed by Aurora. Either way, it will spot out this smoke. They should have some idea of what's going on. There are 4 heroes by the ruin area. Radiant, they are simply sitting on this high ground. Does Dire know? Dire appears not to know. Either way, though, both teams appear to not be running into each other. The question is, will they find Koryak middle lane? I'm going to say probably. Arena is there, but he will miss onto Koryak, simply flying over. So overall, smoke unsuccessful. Koryak simply a little bit too hard to catch there on Batrider. Had they have caught him in the arena, probably could have used BKB and ran away. Has a 10-second BKB finished. We'll go for the blink afterwards. And they head to the top lane. They're headed onto the tower. And there is no defense there from Dire. Simply goes down. Taken by the creeps of all things, but either way. A lot of map control being claimed by Funny Zone. Tier 2 tower is taken. The shrine is taken. Overall, good situation for their map control. Now, if you're 5 average dudes who have been struggling economically, this line right here, a little bit hard to cross. Radiant, they've got a lot of vision over there. Dire, they lack structures there. And importantly, now Dire have to be wary of this Roshan. Troll doesn't have lifesteal, but I don't think he really needs lifesteal if he has teammates. Radiant are sitting on this high ground, looking for a kill attempt. Smiley goes on CB. Slow is there, as is Naldic stun from Jack's attack. Soulbind is used. It's on 2, but there really isn't any follow-up on that Grimstroke ultimate. Meanwhile, middle lane, they might roll in on Baboon. Instead, simply going on Koryak. Arena is used. BKB was not popped in time. Down goes Koryak. Good kill there from 5 average dudes. And they're simply going to have to be content with committing ultimates and killing the middle laner of Funny Zone. Bounties will be traded 2 for 2, as expected. Looks like Radiant will apply a bit of pressure over here, but ultimately to no effect. Dire simply still trying to farm up their Ursa. Will not finish the S and Y, simply going Yasha into BKB. However, they will use the black hole there on Peripheral's Leshrac. He will go down here, and there is the Chain Frost doing a lot of damage. Down goes Jack's attack, bounces over to Baboon as well, but it will end up being 2 kills so far. 4 5 average dudes. They go into Aurora, he goes down, it's 3 kills. Can they find Smiley? Blink is available in 3, Spear is available in 5. But overall, simply a 3 for 1 trade in favor of 5 average dudes. And one of the big story of this game so far has to be these team fights with Black Hole have not particularly gone well for Funny Zone. They have committed Black Hole to a key target, either the Ursa or the Leshrac, and then 5 average dudes take the opportunity to counter-initiate every time it goes very well. Smiley, he's in the Roshan pit. He's going for it, but Gaze is there. Arena is committed. Roshan is taken by the Radiant. Aegis will go to the Ursa. Down goes the Mars. Down goes the Grimstroke. It's a 2-for-0 trade in favor of the Radiant. Ursa, Aegis is popped. And now, here comes the Cavalry. Radiant have arrived. Lasso not even being needed. Notorious will go down, but the bigger kill is PMA. The Shrek will get lassoed there. Midnight Pulse is popped. The Shrek dropping low. Pops the Essence Ring. But he will eventually die. It's a disaster so far. 4-for-0. Can they find PMA? They will not, but it's a 4-for-0 trade. 5-for-0 if you count the Aegis going down. And for Funny Zone, who have had these disastrous team fights with these big ultimates being committed, simply walk in there and say, alright, we are the team that is ahead economically. You are in a compromised position to fight. We're simply going to run in on our troll. What's your counterplay? We're going to kill you. And they do. Absolute great team fight win. They didn't even find the troll there, I don't think. Yeah, they can't even find the troll. There's no kills committed. Simply a 4-for-0 plus Aegis straight up. And they will claim that tier 2 tower as well. Absolute disaster for Fire dudes. Absolute great play there from Funny Zone. Tier 2 tower, not denied, thanks to the Lich armor, I believe. I believe it gave just enough armor for the the deny not to work. There's even a tip there on the tower. I think it's for that, actually. I think it's for the Frost armor, but either way. We will see a smoke here from Dire. I'm assuming they are grouped as 4. The Grimstroke is not very far from it. They will get some D-wards off first. But thanks to the D-ward, they might not have a great opportunity to smoke. Funny Zone are sat on this sort of Dire triangle high ground area. They're in a pretty good spot. And they might be aware that Dire is smoking on their ward. They saw them group, they saw them D-warding. But they're not particularly grouped on the Radiant. This could be a bit of a disaster. Mars will find Aurora, spear him backwards, and they'll probably simply let the man die. And it will be simply a smoke in exchange for a 5 support Oracle. Overall, I mean, you get a kill, and a kill is a kill, but overall, if you're Radiant, you have to be relatively happy with that, knowing the smoke was committed, and you only find Aurora. You only find the Oracle, who's alive once again in 15 seconds, so it's not a particularly substantive kill. There will be no towers taken, there will be no Roshan taken, there's not even a ward put up for this, so overall, it's okay for them. Looking over at key items, checking in here, there's a BKB finish on that Troll Warlord. It's a 10-second BKB on top of the Maelstrom and the Sanjin Yasha. Smiley is extremely farmed. Head towards the Basher. And you know what? Screw talking about items. Radiant are smoked. As for Black Hole is up. He has Blink, BKB, Black Hole. They are possibly looking for Peripheral. They do find him with the Batrider. Lasso is used. Earth Spirit's rolling in. They find the Grimstroke. That's already a Grimstroke going down. 1-for-0 fight. Enrage is popped. PMA's still dropping low. Spear is missed. On the other end of the fight, the Shrek goes down. Back over there again. Smiley, hot battle trance. He's chasing. Ursa not dead, but Mars might just go into the root. He goes down. Meanwhile, Notorious as well, being chased down by Baboon. The follow-up has arrived. Once again, a 4-for-0 trade. Once again, PMA, the lone survivor of the fight. And once again, Funny Zone. They have a great team fight without Black Hole being used. And they may possibly look to chip some kind of structures, but the problem is their waves aren't in a great situation. But what is a kill onto PMA. Batrider has gone in. Ursa is slowed. He is dropping low. Has 3 stacks on him. Grimstroke has TP'd in. Has Soulbind if he needs it. In comes Baboon, roll is there, kicks him back, kill will go to the Oracle, they'll roll again onto the Grimstroke, he's rooted up, he's being hit by Troll, and with the Flame Break as well, a kill will head over to Smiley, 2 more kills for Funny Zone, and overall across the map there in those 2 different engagements, a 6-for-0 trade, and they will get that tier 2 bottom as well, as well as a little bit of damage middle lane. Never mind, actually it's literally 0 damage middle lane, but either way. 6-for-0, plus a tier 2 tower, the ultimate final tower of the Dire at that. You have to be extremely content with that trade. And if you're Firebirds dudes, this game is starting to slip away from you at this point. Funny Zone's draft is coming together. Their team fight is extremely strong. They have a lot of BKB piercing options between the Troll, just simply bashing once he has his basher finished. There's the Enigma, obviously. There's the Batrider, obviously. But the problem is you still need to go Black Hole this game. There's simply too many things you need to buy for BKB4. So this is one situation where you're in a catch-22 where you have to buy BKB. BKB is not that good. So at this point, Funny Zone, they're in a great spot, but Smiley is aggressively farming at this camp. Spear will miss from Beast of US East. BKB is still there. It is popped by the Mars and the Bat Rider, and they're doing a lot of damage. Black Hole is there. It's on 2. Down goes the Shrek. Mars will go down as well. Chain Frost bouncing around, but ultimately no damage thanks to the BKBs. Notorious will go down. It's a 3-for-0 trade. They're going to CB. Roll is there from Baboon. Will be a 4-for-0 trade once the Grimstroke goes down here eventually. Kill will head to Koryak once again. And once again, a 4-for-0 trade with once again the Ursa being the lone survivor. Buyback is used by Grimstroke, but now they are onto the high ground. Glyph is popped. It will delay for now, but another wave has arrived. It is not great timing for the Dire. And the Fervor stacks, they're already there from the Troll. The tower goes down. Still 3 heroes dead. They are respawning, but they will still go for these barracks. The BKBs are on cooldown, so perhaps they are committing deep, but they are able to commit deep. Dire also used a lot of their key teamfight ultimates in BKBs as well. Smiley heads to mid. He wants more racks. Flame Break was used, simply pushing the Lich back. In Dire, they're TPing in. They have to defend this high ground. Or perhaps, yeah, PMA simply farming whatever he can. Barely escapes there. There were no stuns in range to cancel that, I believe, 5-second TP. Either way, he's simply trying to finish the BKB of his own. He is very, very close to it. Needs one more creep camp. We'll get it right here. So his BKB is finished. But overall, they have the BKBs on the Dire. Well, right, they have it on 2 court, I should say. They are still working on the Leshrac one, but the BKB's simply not enough to win the fights. Radiance, they're just so strong right now. This Troll has been doing so much damage. The Enigma has been doing so much control. The Bat Rider's been doing so much control. And the Earth Spear has actually been going off right now as well. This is a great game so far from Funny Zone. They have out-executed in these fights. I mean, they even out-executed in the lanes. Outside of that, the first blood there, it's pretty much been all Funny Zone for the last 28 minutes. In Dire, they recognize, alright, we are behind. We're down inside of racks. We have to go for some kind of Hail Mary play. They are smoked as 5, looking for something, looking at their vision. They're walking blind. Ursa smoke, it pops. They're aware of something. Earth Spirit will roll. Mars ulti is used. Only finds a courier, however. And this is already a disaster. The lulls are being used. Gaze is there onto Bat Rider, but Bat Rider, he goes down. Mars TP's away, but once again, you go for that smoke attempt. You pop it onto that high ground, unable to do anything of value there. They go to the Roshan pit, look for something, find a courier. They will kill the courier, so that is a successful courier kill at least. And Smiley has been in that all chat all game. Notorious, now done with the all chat, says no all. And now we once again return to the high ground defense. We have actually not seen a proper high ground defense just yet from 5 average dudes. The one high ground trip was into simply 2 alive heroes, so there was no actual high ground siege technically. It simply walked in there, there were no defenders. And I should say, there was very limited defense, no actual defense going on there. Koryak, though, will look to go in here. Has Blink Lasso plus BKB if he wants to go, does not go in. Does not want to go onto that Mars, who has the BKB, obviously. Not the easiest kill in the world. But instead, Funny Zone content to grab bounty runes, get back, not die over here. Koryak's a little bit far forward, but that's not going to be a kill, I don't think. Dire, they do a smoke, might go for something crazy here. Never mind, they are not going for anything crazy just yet. Simply sitting on the high grounds. Playing defensively. And we once again head through a Roshan pit. This time, it's much faster than last time. Last time it was Ursa in the middle of a big team fight. This time, it's a very farmed 20k net worth troll, simply hitting the Roshan, uncontested. There is no lifesteal, but there is no lifesteal needed. Aegis will head to Smiley, Cheese, to Koryak, and now for Dire. It is time for what could be the last team fight of the game, and if they want there to be more team fights, they're going to need a bit of a miracle. They are down 25k net worth, and they are playing into both Aegis and Cheese. They do smoke, I believe, on 3. Possibly looking to catch them off guard on their first wave going high ground. Will they go for it? We'll have to see. Grimstroke is pushing out the lane. There are Dire Heroes who have not shown just yet. Ursa's Smoke did pop, though. And now we have Troll on the high ground. Koryak dropping Napalm. I don't think he did not hit the Mars there. Double Frame Break is popped. But overall, it's simply a tier 3 tower being dead. Lich Armor being used. And Smiley is going on to the Ranger Axe. Mars has the ultimate. Might blink in, not just yet. Does not find a great opportunity. Instead, we'll see Koryak last on the Lishrak. Is there fall? Abyssal is there. Soulbind from Grimstroke, but it's not enough. BKBs are popped. Mars ulti was in the back. It was on 2, I believe. But Notorious still goes down. Team fight is absolutely chaotic. Down goes Grimstroke. 3-for-0 fight. On the end of the fight, PMA pops BKB, pops Enrage. Will find Aurora, possibly not even finding that. He gets stunned. He will finally find that Oracle, but he'll eventually go down. Meanwhile, Mars as well goes down towards the fountain. It's a 5-for-1, and it's going to be game soon. That is a 5-for-1 trade. Only 2 buybacks available. That is 2 sets of barracks. And yeah, the GG is called by Notorious. Overall, it's an absolutely great situation for Funny Zone. They had a very good draft concept, one which they were able to do very well in the lanes. They had lanes that were very hard to lose, and not only did they not lose them, they certainly won them. They took it into mid-game fights, took some good mid-game fights, and once the late game happened, it was simply too little too late no matter what 5 average dudes did. And for game number 2, they're going to have a lot of adjustments to make going into it. They're going to have to say, alright, how can we address the disaster situation that was the lanes, and more importantly, really the first skirmishes of the game in game 1. Whew, okay, that was fun. Got to do a little bit of Dota 2 there. We are going into game number 2. Doesn't all apply for. Smiley, what the fuck? I don't think Notorious is interested in you all chatting, sir. You made me break my focus, sir, with that nonchalant comments. I'd call it a non-sequitur, but it's more like a troll comment, you know? It's kind of hilarious, actually. Either way, though, I'm here. I'm not sure what I'm here means, but it's good to see you in the chat there. Alright, going into G2. I'm not sure who has the pick/side. Okay, they get to choose. So apparently 5 average dudes won the coin flip game 1. Not sure what they chose. Either didn't check or they didn't say it. Either way, did not catch it. Wouldn't be surprised if Funny Zone go for a second pick. They had okay, they want Radiance, so we will probably see the exact same situation where Funny Zone's going to play Radiant and 5 average dudes are going to take second pick. That is probably what's going to happen here. What just happened? Am I being trolled right now? Correction, I think there's trolling going on, but not to me. That is interesting. They could have swapped the sides, but ultimately, not going to happen. Okay, I'm in the lobby. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but either way, we will be headed into game number 2 very soon. Hopefully, it will be a more competitive game than game 1. It is fun to see a clinic sometimes. Sometimes you want to see a close Dota 2 game as well. Maybe we get one clinic, we get one close Dota 2 game. Okay. Here we go. Going into game number 2. Hopefully, they tagged up the lobby properly, make my night. Get to see game 1 victory. Funny Zone a little yellow thing on the side, like, yeah, we won game one. So I have to put up an ugly white text in the middle of my screen, like, hey, funny zone, 1-0, 5 dudes. But I have so little faith. I have so little faith in Lads captains at this point to tag up the lobby. I had faith the other night when I think Hamdingsy hosted the lobby. I was like, alright, Hamdingsy, smart guy, maybe smartest guy in Lads, he can tag up a lobby properly. Turns out he couldn't, so hopefully Aurora will tag up stuff properly. I could ask to do it, but where's the fun in that? The fun is the mystery of, oh, will they get the little yellow thingy? Maybe I'm focused on that a little bit too much, but when we are in the inter-game session, and I'm by myself, sometimes you have to entertain yourself with the inane ramblings about tagging up a Game 1 victory. I'm sure if you ask the other commentators of Lads, they would agree with me on this one. Obviously, I'm a confidant of Killer Karate. We've talked about this at length. I know it bothers him. I have not personally talked to Math Magician or K-Sneak, but I'm sure it bothers them as well. But what are we to do? We are, alas, simply humble casters. Will we see Aurora tag it up properly? The ready is in the chat. The mystery of the day might be solved right here, right now. I am giddy with. I am absolutely giddy with anticipation. There's OG. We're going. Drinking a little bit of water and getting ready for that game number 2. Keeping that throat somewhat fresh. And here we go. Will we see the same bands? I'm going to pull up the Dota buff from game number 1. I want to say we saw Coddle plus Nyx band first. We'll once again see Nyx band first overall. Alright, pull up the Dota buff. We had Nyx, Coddle, Monkey King, Puck bands. This game, we will see first pick going to 5 average dudes. So we will see possibly how the draft changes with different teams having first and second pick this game. Sides will be the same. Oh no, they didn't tag it up! Oh, Aurora, please, you came so close. You selected the best of 3 option, but didn't check the... whatever. Let's go over to OBS Studio version. Let's go put up a little thingy over here. Step Bro, okay, that's inaccurate. We're going to have to change that to, let's see here. Funny Zone. Funny Zone. 1-0, 5 dudes. Hopefully that's centered. We'll find out later if it's centered or not. Either way, though, we will see a different band being done. We'll see Batrider band first phase this game by 5 average dudes. As a result, Puck, making it through the band phase, will be first picked overall by 5 average dudes. Probably going to be their mid laner, played. And we will see interesting pick. We'll see Lion. Not a hero necessarily see pick this early all the time, but it makes a lot of sense. Certainly a counter into Puck. Has a lot of control. Has that Hex. So if Puck slips up, you get hexed by Lion, you get fingered by Lion. Bad day to play against Lion. And it also means that for 5 average dudes, suddenly they might be dissuaded from picking Riki. Before, I mean, you think about the big counters to Riki, you think about Puck, you think about Lion. Now, you at least have one of the big counters to Riki on both teams, so Riki just might not be particularly picked here. Instead, we will see Undying. That'll almost certainly be played by Notorious, so perhaps he will be dying less in the lanes this game. Certainly a much more durable hero than Lich. And we will see Void Spirit contested first phase. That's the interesting part with Dota. You see one cog change. Instead of Puck being first banned, Puck gets first pick thanks to a Batrider band, and 3 heroes that were completely uncontested, I believe, in Game 1 are now picked in the first phase of Game 2. I don't think Void Spirit was banned. Yeah, Void Spirit was not touched. Neither was Lion. Neither was Undying. And now all three have arrived. But that right there is just some classic Dota 2 for you. Looking over at bans, it is time for the strong cores of the patch to get banned. Ursa gets banned. Riki gets banned. We'll see a Windrunner ban. Flexible pick here. Can stick it mid, can stick it 4. You can put it 3 if you even really want to. It's kind of an annoying hero to play against. Obviously not as strong as her heyday in the previous patch, but still respectable Dota 2 hero. The runner of winds. The ranger of wind, I should say, but IDC copyrights. Hi, we definitely are going to see a very different laning phase, though. I'm expecting this Lion to be the 5, so we see both 5s already picked, and possibly both mids already picked. You tend to see Void Spirit mid. Can be off lane, can be support, but there is no Flesh Canoe in this lobby, so I would expect it to be their mid laner. Simply knowing the Puck will probably be mid, and Void Spirit has a pretty good lane matchup into Puck. We will see Mars banned, Slark banned, Dusa banned. Dusa was banned second phase last game, Slark was banned third phase last game, and then obviously Mars was in the Dota game. We'll not see Mars anymore tonight. There are still some relatively strong offlaners though in the pool. Sand King, who was banned last game, available right here, right now if either team wants to pick it. Beastmaster is there as well. We will see Shaker. Probably the 4 for Funny Zone. And 5 dudes respond with Rubik. So if you can't have Earthshaker, you at the very least get one of Earthshaker's spells. Pretty much you'll be happy with Fissure or Echo. Probably Fissure is ideal for Rubik, but easier said than done unless you have some items there on Rubik. But either way, that is both of the 4s being shown. So for Funny Zone, you're now picking relatively blind into what the carry is going to be. There is still Jug available, there is still Wraith King available, there is still Troll available, so they might just pick one of those heroes knowing that they'll be landing into the Rubik. And they'll pick Morphling. So they will pick the Morphling plus Shaker combo. They'll say, you know what, you can counter the Morphling with your offlaner, but we don't care, we have the combo. Obviously Morphling plus Shaker, an extremely disgusting combination for those who've never seen it before. Morphling will buy the Aghanim Scepter to morph the Shaker, and Shaker will buy Aghanim Shard to have the Fissure basically be affected by any stuns. So you'll see Fissure Shaker into Totem for follow-up stun, followed by Morphling morphing him into Shaker's Fissure, into Shaker Totem, into Unmorph with the Enchant Totem damage, into Waveform into right click plus shotgun combo, plus it's so much damage. And so much stun. It is unbelievably disgusting combo. And it's a very strong combo at that. And 5 dudes say, you know what? We do not want Morphling to be morphing in the fights. We're not going to pick sustained damage that Morphling can deal with. We are going to pick burst damage. So to pick Tiny. Certainly a hero who, with items, can do a lot of burst damage to a Morphling. Perhaps make him play on a higher level of strength than he might be more accustomed to, or at least more prefer to do. Might see Puck itemized towards being able to do a lot of stuff there as well. Between Puck and Tiny, certainly a lot of burst potential to counter out this Morphling. So it's not going to be a very easy game for Smiley. Other than, well, Morphling Shaker and using Fissure, it's going to be a relatively difficult game to play Morphling. We're now going into this final phase of bans. Simply seeing heroes who, I find the PL ban to be relatively interesting, knowing they have a Shaker and a Lion, but they're just banning out annoying carriers in general. Timbersaw ban makes a lot of sense. They do need an offlaner. Could be a Timbersaw ban could imply it might be a Tiny 1, actually, but somewhat doubtful. Underlord ban, obviously just a offlane ban in general. Lycan, kind of a good game to play Lycan. There's not the greatest counter in the world to Lycan here. Obviously, Shaker does a decent enough job, but Lycans can be very, very annoying and just playing on the other side of the map, just being a very elusive hero. And just knowing he'll be buying that Necro into BKB. Probably getting an Abyssal Blade at some point as well. Just get him out of the game. Just remove the degenerate style of Dota 2 that Lycanthrope enables. We are, though, headed into the penultimate pick of the draft. We are at that last pick phase. We do have a very high amount of reserve time for both 5 average dudes and Funny Zone. 5 average dudes, I am presuming they are going to be picking a carry here. There are still some good carries available. Wraith King makes a good bit of sense if you want to go for it. Certainly a hero who can survive any burst damage via his Reincarnate. I guess technically it's not surviving, but he's more mitigating its impact simply by having 2 lives innate to this hero. There is still Troll if they want that. There is still Jug if they want that. There's Anti-Mage in the pool. That's probably a little bit crazy if they want to go for that. They'll go for Alchemist instead. It was banned out game number 1. I think by Funny Zone, actually. Never mind. I think it was banned by 5 average dudes game number 1. But either way, Alchemist was not available. This game will get picked. They're to say, alright, if you're gonna farm up these items, if you're gonna farm up Blink Shard on Shaker, if you're gonna farm up E-Blade +1 on Morphling, all this stuff, we'll just farm as one Alchemist. An Alchemist will get more gold from farming because he's literally an Alchemist. So I see the idea there. Looks like it will be an Alchemist safe lane, which means I feel like the obvious pick might be Sand King. It's in the pool. It lanes well into Alchemist. And a lot of the other good offlaners are banned. Obviously, Mars banned, Underlord banned, Timbersaw banned, Batrider bans. So a lot of these heroes who are really good offlane that you might want are banned. So it feels like Sand King is the obvious pick. Might not be the greatest lane in the world though, because you're looking at, if you did that, you'd be looking at Sand King, Shaker into Alchemist Undying. At this point, you'd think, all right, what hero can lane into Alchemist Undying, or potentially Alchemist Rubik, if they really want to secure that lane. And that's easier said than done. That's not a great lane situation to deal with. Obviously, the Alchemist doesn't provide that much to the lane, but these are some. It's a rough support on support matchup. Obviously, Shaker has potential to do a lot with the Fissure. In terms of his man fighting, not a great time. Looking over at the other lanes, looking at Tiny +1, probably Tiny Rubik into Morphling plus Lion. That actually might be a relatively rough laning phase for Smiley. Smiley obviously had a very good laning phase. Game 1, he was certainly enabled by his team. Did die for First Blood, but other than that, he was simply pretty much unopposed. They did even a little bit of tri-lane to secure his game, and he just got very, very farmed. And we will see Beastmaster. Honestly, kind of forgot he existed, but a very, very good pick there. That's a hero who's going to be able to trade well in the lane into supports by the boar. Going to be good in the late game, going to be good in the mid game, it's going to be good all the game. And then as we've known for the entire game, we'll be seeing the Void Spirit plus Puck in the mid lane. That'll be a relatively good matchup for Koryak. Probably will be relatively even, if not slight favorite to Koryak just off the hero matchup. Yeah, we will see Rubik, Tiny, into Morphling, Lion. I'd expect it to go to the Tiny Rubik, but I think it really hinges on what they do in terms of the creep pulling. I'm not sure if Aurora can successfully block that hard camp, because if Aurora can keep the hard camp blocked either with wards or body, that will really impact Tiny Rubik's ability to do anything in the lane. He might have to body block it, because I'm sure CB will deward it if it does get blocked. And looking at Beastmaster Shaker into Undying Alchemist. Obviously, having Undying into 2 strength heroes is nice for Undying. You get the double decays there, you're reducing the damage there. But I still like the lane there for Beastmaster Shaker, actually. I think the boars are going to be pretty powerful. It's not like some range supports to be able to trade with the boar easily, so that should relatively make this game pretty well. I mean, Alchemist is not the strongest laning hero, so overall, I like the laning phase better for Funny Zone. I think overall draft, I mean, they have Morphling plus Shaker, so they have a very, very powerful combo in that as well. I'm once again going to side with Funny Zone in the draft. I sided with them in the draft game 1. Their draft was executed very well. I'm going to side with them this game as well. See where it goes. Obviously, Fireverse dudes have a very clear plan here. They have potential to burst the Morphling. They have the Alchemist as their win condition. So they have a very coherent draft plan, but I'm overall on the side of Funny Zone in terms of the draft. If you want to see who's playing what, you missed it earlier on that screen, it's on the screen right now. I have finished my Dr. Pepper. We are restarting PC on somebody. Looks like Jax. Yeah, Jax restarting PC on Beastmaster. He's been DC'd for a while, actually. Where the ward's headed, they're headed where we think they're headed. Actually, yeah, Aurora's going to grab the Observer Ward. Possibly use it to block, but either way, he's going to put it somewhere in this sort of region of the map. And then obviously Koryak putting one middle lane. Other ward, one's on Puck, obviously going mid lane, and then the Rubik will place it. So there are going to be multiple wards, one from each team in this bottom lane. I'm curious to see when the D-warding comes out. I don't think either team has one currently. Yeah, neither team has one, nor do they have the gold for one, but we'll probably see one literally right after. I don't know, the Undying has a sentry, actually. But we'll probably see one be sent bottom as well. Unless the Undying is headed bottom. I didn't mention that as a possibility, that the Undying could head bottom and the Rubik could head top. I would expect the Rubik bottom and the Undying top, but you never know sometimes. Looking at Notorious, what direction is he facing, actually? I literally cannot tell with the cosmetics what direction he's facing. I think he's facing up here, so maybe he's headed top right now. It's hard to tell. I am certainly overanalyzing this, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta overanalyze things. And you basically, if you overanalyze long enough, Jax attack reconnects to the game, you can, once again, commentate Dota 2 once they resume. But, oh, there, G. All is well. All is well. It's Dota 2 time once again. For those who are just tuning in, it is 1-0. Funny Zone did win game number 1 on that Radiant side. They executed a very good teamfight draft, 4P1, based around Troll. They had a lot of teamfight control with the Bat Rider, the Earth Spirit, and the Enigma, and they simply out-executed Fireverse dudes. Fireverse dudes had some good flashes. They fought well into the black hole early on, but ultimately, their loss in the lanes led to a loss in the key mid-game teamfights, and they ultimately took the loss game number 1. They're looking to bounce back. In terms of overall state within Lads, both these teams are on the bubble for making playoffs. Both these teams need this win. Obviously, Funny Zone getting the game 1 win are in a slightly better spot now, but all is yet to be determined for these final weeks of the season. PMA is standing top lane, killing some trees. Does break a smoke, actually, out from Baboon. But they might just go on up here. Fissure is there. Earthspike is not skilled. They have an idea someone's around here. Looking at Radiant Vision, they don't have their ward placed. It will be probably placed eventually. Sentry is dropped by Notorious in that hard camp area, but neither team knows. They see Notorious, they're pinging him out, but Radiant, they're playing some real tree-based Dota. They're sending in the Hawk, getting vision. They saw both of these dire heroes. In comes Aurora. He's skilled stun. It's Notorious. That's the jump. Fissure is there. Blocks both of them out. But now Lion cannot hit. But do they need Lion to hit? The answer is no. First Blood goes to Koryak. Throw out the PMA. Slowing him up with the Wars. Stun is there. Fissure is in 9. In come the body blocks. He goes to the left. He goes to the right. They're juking. Blocks from Aurora. Blocks from Baboon earlier. They're still slowing him. Is there another stun? They're stunned in 1. Stun on PMA and with the Fissure. Another kill. This time to the Earthshaker. So 2 kills to Funny Zone. Game number 1. They gave up First Blood before the runes. This time, they got 2 kills at the runes. A much better start to this game for them. And now Alchemist Undying, as expected, they will TP into the lane. Already at that disadvantage due to that death, but they will look to bounce back. Puck is slightly ahead thanks to there being correct, showing up slightly late to the lane, but he'll be okay. Obviously A-okay in that lane as Void Spirit. I don't think he missed any creeps. Simply missed a block. Just taunt the Puck there, doing a little bit of damage, but no kill just yet. It's a very important range creep deny, actually. Bit of a errant orb used by peripheral. Either way, supports are trading bottom lane. Aurora stunning up CB, but yeah, both heroes will be fine. You are seeing Shaker. He did pull that wave all the way through, simply farming it up over here, as Jax is simply sitting here, having a sad time. No creeps, no spirits. Looks like the hard camp has only been body blocked so far. Jax is being gone on, but he'll be completely fine. Here's a D word by Aurora. Hard camp has not spawned just yet, but it will spawn at minute 2. Rubik is attempting to contest the pull, but ultimately Wave still gets pulled. 1 creep goes through, actually, but Wave Equilibrium will go back bottom. Mid lane, as expected, Void Spirit having a very good time. Certainly a pretty good matchup into that Puck. Puck does have 2 points in silence, not opting for Phase Shift. Batter Courier did die. CB's Courier a little bit out of position. Simply went down there in that bottom lane. Overall, as it stands, Tiny having a good time in this bottom lane. 12-3 versus Morphlings 8-0. Mid lane, relatively even. Void Spirit slightly on top, but only slightly. In the top lane, they're doing a lot of damage to the Notorious. Tombstone was dropped. Tombstone goes down. Acid is there, but nobody's going to die. Everyone's okay. Yeah, the trading in the bottom lane continues. Lion and Rubik perpetually hitting each other. There were stuns used, I should say Avalanche was used on Smiley. The Smiley is going to be okay. Smiley is playing with a relatively low HP, but there is no toss on Tiny, so there's not really an easy kill there. What is Baboon up to? Looks like he's simply being a bother. Chasing Notorious off the lane, leaving PMA and Jax in a straight 1v1, which is obviously very good for Jax. Because he's not really playing a 1v1, he's playing a 1v1 with boars. Rubik, low on mana, but does have 2 mangoes and 5 stick charges. Lift is there, as is Avalanche. Toss, only up. Did a little bit more. Tree is tossed, that'll be the kill. And that's a kill to the Beast of US East. Whoops in the chat by Aurora. Did he, yeah, he's probably just dead anyways. Either way, though, there will be the 4-minute rune spawning. Supports from both teams have arrived in middle. Shaker will not get the rune because it will be an invis to Koryak bottom. Fissure is there. Is there a taunt? There is a silence by Puck simply used to Waning Rift over that fissure, not being caught by the remnants. They will instead go on Jack's attack slightly. But whoa, that's actually a very important solo kill bottom there by the Beast of US East on a Smiley. I mentioned that the Tiny had that burst potential in the Morphling, especially if he's playing on a high Agi, and he was playing on high Agi. Simply got bursted down, was not able to get that 10 charge stick off before dying to Beast of US East. And that is an absolutely important play. A very, very good solo kill. The sort of thing that's going to really help his team out here. Top lane, Fissure is available. PMA and Jax, both fine. Aurora has once again come bottom, as has CB. There's a pull. Creeps will head the Smiley, I guess. Missed one last hit, but it'll get the lion's share of that one. Bounties will head actually 3-1. Notorious did grab the one right over here. We have 3-for-1 bounty trade. Stun is used on CB, but they are not going to go in there. Waveform was up, but that's still not a kill, even if he does waveform in. So simply a little bit of damage being done there, top. I should say bottom. Either way, though, Looking over at last hits, Beast of US East currently popping off. Is 34-5, is 2-0 on the kills. He's having a very, very good game last game. Had a somewhat rough game number 1. But this game certainly going off already. He had some good Mars off his last game, but this game he's starting off to a much better landing phase, which is what's going to matter a lot here. And he tosses Smiley bottom, does a good bit of damage, but it is no actual kill. Still has 10 stick charges. We'll pop them under this tower, perhaps. Alright, we'll get salved by Aurora. We'll get full healed by that salve. Middle lane, peripheral, doing his best not to die here. Rubik has arrived. Void Spirit did go in there with both Astral Steps, did not find a kill. Fissure is available top, not being used. Bottom lane, however... Never mind, I thought something happened bottom. Toss actually is there with the Avalanche. Tried to burst down Smiley, but just a little bit short on that damage. Smiley once again going to have to heal up. Meanwhile, back to top. Fissure is available. Will it be used? Simply a totem. Actually not a great trade there for Baboon. Aurora is TPing up though, so they may try to find PMA before he hits level 6. Fissure, is it there? Not being used just yet. He will not have 6 just yet, but he's only level 5, barely. Looking over at Smiley, he is hitting that small camp, maybe looking for some neutral items. Looking at Dire Vision, they don't really know what's happening top lane, though they have not seen Aurora in a good while. Fissure still has not been committed just yet. Meanwhile, they are headed to Smiley. The creeps, they do see him. Toss is there as his Avalanche. That's not a kill, though he had already strength morphed. And now with Koryak being top lane, this is somewhat highly committing to this. They do see Notorious with that Hawk, but they don't want Notorious. They want PMA. They want the Hawk before he hits 6. Koryak steps in. He actually hits both there. The stun does well for the Aurora from 2. That's 2 kills. 1 to Koryak. Actually, Notorious still alive, actually. Drops that tombstone. Coil is on 3, but now Puck gets hexed. Puck will also go down. That's a 3-for-0 trade in favor of Funny Zone. 2 kills to Jack's attack, 1 to Koryak, and they simply lacked what they needed to actually get those kills. Had they have possibly had more heroes TPing in, but alas. Instead, Smiley, taking a lot of damage bottom lane, had waveformed in aggressively, but simply not enough damage. Still can morph more strength if he needs to, and he does. And he'll even waveform into the trees. He'll be completely... Never mind, he still dies here to the Avalanche and Toss combo from this Tiny. Eventually got brought down. In comes Baboon. Does have Fissure, but simply getting the kill onto Smiley probably is reward enough. But as that happens, they did, as expected, lose their Tier 1 top lane to the power of this Beastmaster, who does have Necro. Don't even think he popped it. Either way, tower does go down. Middle lane, Koryak postured aggressively with that Arcane Rune. Did not find anybody. Meanwhile, Baboon bottom lane does get Avalanche. Toss is there. Probably not even needed. Baboon does go down. Another kill of Beast of US East. He is dominating. And they'll go for the Tier 1 in the safe lane of their own. They're pushing this Tier 1 bottom. The Radiant Funny Zone defense currently not there. Is there TPs? There is, but it doesn't particularly matter. Smiley has completely left to play in this area of the map, towards that Radiant Tri-Camp, towards that Dire Jungle. And Jack's attack has moved as well into the Dire Jungle. They say, you know what? Radiant Jungle is overrated. We don't want it. Now Dire Jungle. That's our jungle. We'll play this area of the map. Either way, though, looking at net worth, looking at overall somewhat as expected. Alchemist doing alright, but he's an Alchemist. Tiny on top. He is popping off. Obviously, Jack's attack and Void Spear also doing very well. And then both the Morphling and the Puck somewhat struggling. The Puck a little more than I expected, but certainly it's not a great lane matchup for the Puck there. So, along with that death, not a great start to the game. Either way, though, he is still even with the Morphling, so he's not that far away from anything. Quill is there, will use it on Koryak, has double damage rune. He will orb in. Fissure is on 2, Silence on 2 as well. 1 kill first on Aurora, looking for Koryak. He also steps away, needs more damage to kill him. Meanwhile, Roar is there on peripheral. Pause is done by Koryak, actually. He'll be fine. Finally destroying that last attack with the Assimilate. There will be no kill there. The question is, will there be a kill on Peripheral? Peripheral does not have Phase Shift skilled. He's got a 3-4-0-1 skill build. So he will need his team to save him here. There is no Fissure on Baboon. It is on cooldown. And I will actually, Aurora simply chiming in about Connecticut Internet. I can concur. Connecticut Internet, not the greatest. I'm not sure what provider they have, but all the providers have some degree of problems. Especially if they have Frontier. Frontier is particularly bad. Hopefully they don't have that. Either way, though, I'm not... Peripheral, still probably going to go down here. Gets that orb off, but once again, no ability to jaunt in time. They will go on Jax. Stun is there. That's an Avalanche. They need more, however. They will toss the Undying, and Fissure, though, blocking off the Tiny a little bit. Lift is there. Stolen Roar onto Baboon. He'll go down. Very good Roar steal there by CB. Jax attack, still trading. Has the Necroneers up. In comes Koryak. He's fully healed. Finger is there on Notorious. They're now looking for Tiny. He's avalanched. Has a toss. Trying to go in. They'll simply walk away on the Radiant Dire. Unable to pursue further. Actually, CB is going... He's crazy. He's going in there. He's fully out of mana. They're tossing him the puck. He comes back. Orb is there. Loki jaunts. He will not. Spells are on cooldown. Dax attack is very, very low. Is Fade Bolt up? It is up. He's not in range. He is still by the board. Fissure is there. On to 2. Will secure the retreat of Jax. Peripheral, once again, is in. Still double damage. Will jaunt in, but now has only Coil as a spell. Might Coil 1. Will not Coil, actually. At least not just yet. Will now Coil. Has the kill, actually. That's a huge kill on Koryak from Peripheral. The Radiant team simply went away. Had there had been help, he would have been fine, but help not in range. Huge kill there by Puck. Very, very important kill for this game state. Now Dire. We'll look for tier 1 middle. Not dead just yet, however. Is still about 1/4 HP. They do have heroes in the vicinity, but looks like the push is dead for now. Let's look over at the AFK farmers of the game. We have Alchemist, who is top in net worth, has Battle Fury. This is like a Morphling. Working on a Yasha, currently has Lifesteal. As expected, Alchemist is on top because he is, well, Alchemist. Morphling's still trying to recover, but Dire say, you know what, we do not want Morphling to recover. They're looking for Smiley. Is there a stun? It actually was not on him. They avalanched the TP area. We're unable to find him. Meanwhile, they're doing middle lane for Notorious. Tombstone was dropped. He's dropping low. It goes down. Look for Tombstone. They haven't killed it just yet. They're looking for more. Roar is there on CB. Has stolen stun. In comes Puck. Jaunts in. Silence on 3, but down goes Beastmaster. And wait a minute. It's actually very good for the Dire. They are starting to run out of Radiant heroes. Koryak has no Astral Step in PMA, but he has no stun. Is there a Coil? Coil is there. Silence is there in 1. They'll find Koryak once again dominating for Peripheral. In comes Tiny. Avalanche. Toss is there. They need more hits. They need one more hit. Rubik will have it. Huge fight there by 5 average dudes. And what looked like a bit of a disaster, a split fight, actually went very, very well there. The Tombstone did not die very fast. The heroes who went for Smiley top lane on that failed gank arrived just in time onto this little high ground area to turn there. And nobody on Dire died but Notorious, I believe. Yeah, nobody died there. A lot of heroes got very low. But instead, it's a 4-for-1 trade. Very good fight for 5 average dudes. They get that mid-tier 1. They apply a lot of pressure to this area of the map. They're putting some wards up. They have one over here. They have one over here. And now this entire jungle area is a little bit dangerous for Funny Zone. But instead, we don't want to be in our jungle anyways. Smiley has fully rotated up to this area of the map. And his entire team appears to be joining him as well. Beast of US East is possibly isolated, but he will instead go forward on Jax attack. Fissure is there. He's taunted. He'll eventually go down here, I believe. Yeah, he'll go down there to Koryak. Dire's TPing in. Puck is there. Stun was missed by Lion. Hex will not miss. Tombstone is dropped, doing a bit of damage. Puck Orbing in, looking for Beastmaster. Down goes Jax. Tombstone, still alive, finally goes down. Baboon might go down here. Coil is there if they want to commit it. Fissure is there, as is Echo. It's on 3, but not that much damage. In comes Void Spirit, down goes Shaker. Void Spirit trying to kill Puck. Phase Shift is there. In comes Alk, has that stun. Finger, not in range just yet. He's looking for it. Stun is there. Down goes Aurora, however. Was looking for that finger kill on anybody. Probably Puck, though. Could not find it, though. Instead goes down. Was, brought down for his attempt at a kill. And once again, another good fight there for 5 average dudes. Once again, this time it was a 3-for-1 trade. They did, however, pick up the kill on Beast of US East, who had that streak. However, this is the point in the game, though, where the offlaner says, you know what? I am a space creator. I will allow my Puck to get some items. I allow my Alk to farm. I will go for these crazy plays here on the Void Spirit middle, and you know what? Maybe I might just die for it, but instead, you know what? I'm too tanky. It's only Void Spirit plus Shaker. They have the Fissure, but they didn't have a follow-up to kill me, so I'll just not die. He's playing kind of with impunity right now. He might look for Koryak here. He goes in once again, finds a kill on Koryak. Rubik has had Astral Step as well, so there was more follow-up had Koryak not immediately died there, but instead, bottom lane, Jax attack is kind of being gone on. Undying has dropped Tombstone, stun is there, but there's a roar there from Jax attack. He is TPing away, he should be able to get it off in time, does get it off in time, but instead, in come the help, looking for Aurora. Is there a toss? There's a Hex, there's a stun as well. Tiny will get stunned a good bit here. Does not have enough damage to kill him with Finger. He will TP away successfully at that, so no kills there from Dire, but the creep wave is in a great spot. They can go for this bottom tier 2 tower, and that appears to be their target. Radiant not even attempting this, simply content to farm. Once again, Smiley still top lane. Rest of Radiant playing around the mid lane tri-camp sort of region. And PMA in a bit of a compromised spot, but he should be A-okay. Yeah. Simply wants to farm this mid wave. Bottom tier 2 actually not dead. Looks like Dire instead will look for some kind of attempt middle. Looking at their vision though, they're not working with too much. They have a lot of vision in this area that Radiant simply is unable to access. And they really have only seen the Void Spirit and the Morphling too recently. Instead, they are still staying grouped. They are applying pressure both mid and bot. Radiant fully aware of where they are. Their vision does not see them, but they're drawing the circles regardless. Like, alright, Dire, they're playing right in this area. They want to kill us middle lane, so let's not go there. Let's go up this direction and not die. But Dire will simply go for the bottom tier 2. Content to grab that tower, perhaps. It's taking a good bit to die, but eventually will go down. Smiley is still playing top, still trying to buy some items. He is now the net worth leader for the Radiance. Jax attack is going for an attempt top lane. CB, though, did lift him backwards. He does have Roar, but Radiant wants to play on this high ground rather than on this low ground in tower range. Beast of US East is here. They might go on him. Is there a Hex? There is a Hex. There's a Void Spirit as well, trying to stun them. There's the Avalanche pop. Roar is there. Beast of US East will be the first casualty of the fight. And now the Astral Step out from Koryak. It'll simply be a 1-for-0 engagement unless they can find Peripheral. They did see him walk away there, but that'll simply be a 1-for-0 engagement. Very important kill there onto the Beast of US East. And they may look to push this top tier 2. They do have a wave coming in. They do have the Beastmaster Necro active, and Dire appear to not even want to defend that. They have the Rubik in the area, perhaps looking for a spell steal, but otherwise PMA is not there. Puck is not there as well. Radiant appear to have an idea that Dire is going in this direction. Looking at their vision, yeah, they have this great ward still here, so they're seeing Dire walk up that way. They might even still play in this jungle area, but they don't know that Dire also has vision of their retreat, so it's like both teams with pretty good knowledge of where the other team is will be unable to find any kind of engagements. And we will return to our regularly scheduled agriculture. Alchemist still farming. Almost has BKB actually. He's very close. Has that Mithril Hammer on Courier, I believe he does. Looking over at the Morphling, has a Yasha, almost has a Manta, so he's getting more and more items, but he doesn't have enough items to really have much of a game impact just yet. Either way, though, Beast of East once again goes into Koryak, unable to find that kill. He did have a backup on the Void Spirit, so had he have needed it, there would have been a Fissure or a Earth Spike turn. Puck jaunting in aggressively, perhaps looking for some kind of kill. Might look for Shaker, no coil being committed though. Instead, they will go onto the Lion. Toss is there, and he'll immediately melt, not as tanky as his Yukon teammate Koryak. Either way, though, Lion goes down, one more kill to the Dire. And they are going to grab all 4 bounty runes, I believe. Yeah, they'll grab all 4 bounty runes. So obviously nice to have with that Alchemist. Just get a little bit more gold that way. Keep the pressure on economically. That was their big flaw last game, is they had a huge economic disadvantage. Funny Zone played the map better, but this game, with the Alchemist, with the pressure being applied by the Puck, especially by this Tiny, they are certainly winning the economic game. Even if you remove the net worth gap from the Alchemist and the Morphling, say the Alchemist like 8k net worth, he's a normal carry, Dire's still ahead by 2k. So they're certainly doing a very good job economically currently. Radiant, however, they are like, you know what, we want to do something. They have a Blink Dagger on Shaker, they have a Smoke on both Lion and Shaker as well. And Dire are postured very aggressively towards this middle tier 2 tower area. They might go for Puck, they're pinging him out. Blink, Echo Slam is there, they burst him down with the finger, that's one huge kill. Question is, will there be more fighting? Radiance, they're 5 all in middle, looking for a roar perhaps. But instead, Dire fully on retreat. They smoke up. PMA, however, is playing very greedily. Roar, not there in time. Is there a Fissure? It's there by Rubik, actually. So Rubik Fissure is there. They once again, Tiny does get gone on. Will toss away Koryak. In comes PMA. Fissure on 1, as is Roar. Looking for Tiny. They're going to find him. Yeah, they'll eventually find him. The kill will head to Smiley. Overall, it's a 2 for 0 there. Very, very important pickoff. Finding Puck with the Echo. They're not even playing around there. They instantly fissure him. They instantly finger him. They say, you know, we want this man to die. And he dies. In Dire, going for a bit of a cheeky play, they have smoked as 3. Radiant might not expect this. They do pop on Jack's attack. That's not the person they want to find. Is there a lift? No lift, no fissure. Dire possibly just over-ambitious with that smoke. Maybe want to be opportunistic with peripherals. Invis Rune on Puck. But either way, they do not find anything of value. And for Funny Zone, it's been a very good last minute of the game or so. But now, 5 average dudes, once again TPing in to this mid lane. They're playing as 5 PMA with that BKB, with that Hyperstone. Appears to be ready to fight. Says, you know what, I don't need to finish this all Kuros. I'm much, much stronger than the Radiant heroes right now. Radiant playing very conservatively on this high ground. They do have a smoke if they want to leave it, but they appear they want to smoke. They look like they want to smoke, but instead they're simply sitting on the high grounds, possibly anticipating a Dire smoke movement, looking at their vision. They see a lot of these morphing illusions actually by the Manta style. They saw at least 2 Dire heroes, if not more. Dire has smokes of their own, but Radiant might have an idea if they go for it. They saw a lot of heroes up here. And with that Hawk from Jax, spots out the Rubik as well, and the Undying. If they do smoke, Radiant will know. However, they won't say go on Shaker. Fissure is used. Is there a toss? Not backwards. Stolen Fissure was once again used. In comes PMA. Will pop the BKB, doing a lot of damage. Dax attack will go down. On the other end of the fight, Koryak doing so much damage with the double damage rune. There's a buyback from Aurora as well. Overall, it's good for both teams. But Funny Zone wants more. Can they find more? It looks like no. Relatively even fight. Actually, if anything, that's a very... I underestimated simply the amount of burst damage that Dire had. Overall, they forced out 2 buybacks. So those 2 buybacks certainly make a fight win. Radiant, they have smoked. They want to find something with those buybacks, knowing Dire heroes are still dead, but they're not dead for too much longer. They're looking for PMA. They have an idea he's there. They saw the acid spray, but they're unable to locate the main alch just yet. PMA Yeah, he's absolutely fine. Radiant now on the retreat. Unable to capitalize on those buybacks overall. It now becomes pretty good for 5 average dudes. They're once again, as 5, they're headed forward. Their vision, they know where the Shaker is, but other than that, there is a toss, there is an avalanche. They will get 1 kill. The kill will head to CB. He only steals Totem, however. Peripheral goes in, has Quill if he wants to use it. Lion will go for some kind of stun, I'm sure. Used it there, hits 2, but he'll still die eventually. Yeah, will be 2 once again CB. He's a double kill there. Either way, though, Dire will probably look for top tier 1. There is no backdoor protection because it is a tier 1 tower. Radiant will instead move to the mid tier 1, so it will be a tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade. We'll refresh the glyph for both teams. Not sure who's on cooldown, but either way, they are both refreshed. Dire now headed into this Radiant tri-camp. Radiant are aware of that by this word. There's a D word dropped, so that will be dead very soon. And Radiant running all the way away down bottom. They did, I believe, signal towards this bottom tier 1, but the wave is over here, so it won't be the easiest kill in the world. The Necro units are still up, though, for how long? 7 more seconds. So it will be a tier 1 tower after this split, but the problem is the trade is for Roshan. Aegis will go to PMA, and they might not even find the tower. Jax will probably get caught here for his split pushing. Puck has coiled in. In comes the Auk, stun is there, in comes Tiny, toss avalanche combo is there, Jax attack. Certainly dead right now. And they may look for more, but the man leading the charge isn't Undying, who's basically the one hero here who has no ability to stun them. Void Spirit, Koryak very deep right now, looking to cut this bottom wave. Should be able to find it, might even find a courier. It's a town portal scroll, but nothing too important to stop. Middle lane. There are still 4 Dire heroes. They will jaunt in looking for Aurora. They've done a lot of stuns to Peripheral, and looks like everybody on the Radiant will actually be able to escape here. Not the greatest initiations from Dire. They did lack their Tiny. Tiny was playing bottom lane, and they weren't able to find the Lion or the Shaker. Something they might regret come this team fight right now. In comes Puck. Has not used Coil. Aurora will die to PMA. Peripheral goes in. Baboon blinks away. Overall, only a Lion dead. DD Alk kills the tower. Waves are being cupped. There is still a wave middle. There is a glyph for Radiant if they need to use it. Fissure is there, blocking PMA in. Is there an Aghanim Shard? There is no Shard still on Shaker. He's actually not able to afford it just yet. Is there a smoke? There is a smoke. In comes Tiny, tosses Jax back. They're looking for him. Stun from PMA. In comes Void Spirit. In comes Fissure. It's on 2. Echo is there. It's on 3, I believe. Either way, though, Undying goes down. Tiny goes down. Stolen Echo there by CB. It's overall, so far, very good for 5 average dudes. But they're now on the retreat. They say, you know what? This is a little bit too much. We need to run. Once again, good stolen Echo there by CB. PMA, though, still in the area, still... Okay, he has no Aegis anymore, but he still does have that 9-second BKB. Stun is there from Aurora, does actually hit him. They want to find him. They taunt him in. Finger is available, but the BKB is popped. Down goes Koryak. Is it now time to retreat? It appears to be time to retreat. They're fully on the run. And looks like Radiant might need to bounce back from that team fight loss, but they're delaying the game here. They are working on the Aghanim Scepter for the Morphling. That is the key item along with the Aghanim Shard of the Shaker, which is now finished thanks to that last fight. But their full combo is not yet online. Obviously, the main concept of the draft was this Morphling plus Shaker combo. They have not finished it. He is not really close to the Aghanim Scepter at that. Once they have it, that'll be a lot of very scary team fight control, especially knowing that these BKBs are going to eventually start running down. Alchemist already down to 8 seconds. Tiny's is at 10 seconds, but I'm sure he'll use it a few times very soon. Notorious is on the D ward. Is there a counter engagement? Perhaps. Looking at Dire Vision, they do see Aurora. They might just jump in here. Is there a blink? There's an avalanche toss. Down goes Aurora. And it will simply be a kill onto Lion. A little more gold. to the side of the Tiny. A little more stat padding for his kill deaths anyways. But you don't really need too much stat padding. I think we've all seen the impact of the Beast of US East. This game has been very high. Mid lane? Puck? Puck's fine, never mind. Thought he might get caught. But instead, simply jaunts away, has that face shift, has the blink. Not the easiest hero to kill, obviously. Dire? Yeah, Dire not going to actually go high ground just yet, it appears. They do have a wave going high ground, but the actual high ground hitters are not there. They are hitting jungle creeps. Jax does grab bounties bottom. We'll grab 2, actually. And Radiant will jump here. They know that Dire is very split below from Notorious. They'll find at least 1 kill. Can they find more? Koryak does go in there with that Astral Step. Might try to find somebody. But with the other step being on cooldown, probably won't find it. Abyssal Blade is used. They really want this Void Spirit, and they will actually find him. BKB unable to get off in time. Roar is there on Alk. Is there in a fall? In comes Morph. In comes Shaker. Stun on 2. That's actually a lot of damage. The problem is they were unable to kill either of the heroes. They popped the BKBs. In comes PMA. Big Bad Man. Kills Aurora. Bash on Jax. In comes Tiny on the reinitiation. And CB will go down thanks to the adaptive strike of Morph. But now Morph might just go down. Good Manta Dodge on that Alk stun, actually. He probably should be fine now. Never mind. In comes Tiny. In comes Puck. Despite his good Manta Dodge, it's not enough to live. Coil is there. And Smiley, another casualty of this team fight that has turned into an absolute disaster for the Funny Zone. The lone survivor, Baboon, on this Earthshaker. And now Dire. It is time to go high ground once again. Their first high ground attempt didn't really go too far. Got some tower damage, but ultimately simply got a few kills. This time, though, they want the key buyback on Smiley. He's dead for 55 seconds. And they've already headed middle lane. Tower already down. They're on the racks. BKB is still on cooldown for PMA, but he is still in that ultimate form. Fissure is there. He is being stunned by Shaker. But the range tracks are down. In comes Piece of Business. Unable to find a jump. In comes Puck as well. Coil is on cooldown. Tiny going to go down here. This could be a bad initiation. However, they do kill Aurora. Jax attack did roar up the Alchemist. He'll BKB, run away. The Fissure is there. They might just find PMA. BKB is actually on cooldown. He'll go down. This is a very ill-advised initiation by the Dire. They tried to find something there with that Tiny, but Tiny could not find a fish on his hook. Simply went down there, got stunned under these tier 4 towers, and instead, this what seemed to be a guaranteed high ground siege actually did not result in the death of the melee barracks. The ranged ones did go down, the melee ones still alive. So a very good hold there for Funny Zone. But the problem is, despite a very good hold there, they're still down by 23k net worth. So they're going to need a few more defenses like that if they plan on winning this Dota game. But if you keep defending like that, and 5 average dudes keep going in on attempts like that, perhaps it is possible. Looking over at Morphling, he is getting very close to that Aghanim Scepter. The combo will be online very, very soon. The point booster is finished. He's just 400 gold away. And this actually is a little bit scary. The combo will finally be online for the Radiant, and Dire have not gotten the melee racks. But despite my best attempt to build a narrative, we can still see that 5 average dudes are in the driver's seat, and if they tighten up their game a little bit, play as 5, they can still do a lot. They've been executing these team fights very, very well, and they now have that Aeon Disc on Puck. So if we see in one of these fights soon, as we've seen in some of the previous fights, say they might try to go look for a Hex plus Finger combo with a full jump in on the Puck, it might not be as successful. The Aeon Disc will simply be that safety blanket that Puck needs to not just be bursted by, say, Echo plus Finger plus Astral Step plus, I don't know, Adaptive Strike, whatever they want to throw at him. So now Puck, a hero who's already extraordinarily elusive, just that extra bit more elusive. Whew. Alright. These teams, though, Radiant is still positioned towards this top area of the map. Looking at Dire Vision, they do see Smiley and Aurora. They should have a relative idea of where the rest of Radiant is as well. Looking over at Radiant Vision, they appear to not know where the Dire is. They see no heroes currently. I think that was a circle drawn by PMA, so maybe they possibly think somebody's in this Dire tri-camp, but nobody is there. All is safe. If Alk wants his precious creeps, they are still there. A little more water time. Here we go. Oh, okay. So we have resumed. Dota 2 action is back. Is there a smoke from Dire? There is one on CB. Looking at Radiance, they still do not see much of Dire. They do see PMA showing top, but that's also not the easiest kill in the world. And Radiant simply are on the retreat. There's a double damage top. Might get grabbed by this Tiny, might get saved for the Alk. We'll have to see. Yeah, they are guarding this double damage room. I'm sure PMA will head on over, eventually grab that. Yeah, they're very much guarding. They dropped two. Okay, they bottled it on the Tiny. So they toss the bottle from Puck to Tiny. And he goes on correct with double damage room. They silence him up. Down goes there. Yeah, he goes down. He pops the BKB, but he was killed mid-astral step animation. And as that happened, Aurora went down as well. Baboon is on the run. Tried stunning up on Shaker, but he went down, and he has no buyback. Void Spirit going to have to buy back here, but it will be a 4v5 defense. Netherracks have gone down, and now Radiant is it's time to defend. They have finished that Aghanim's Scepter, but it's still easier said than done. Glyph is popped, trying to kill some of these creeps, but there will be some creeps alive after Glyph ends, I believe. Never mind, actually the creeps are dead, so backdoor will come in eventually. The problem is there is still a wave mid lane, so if they want to continue this high ground siege, it can go on. The fissures, they are being dropped one at a time, but the tower is still dead. One fissure is dropped, this one by Shaker, but Alchemist is still on the racks, as is Tiny. Range racks still go down thanks to that Echo Saber on Tiny. Puck goes in, blinks out, not able to find the initiation that he wanted, and looks like Dire going to respect the power of the combo there from Radiant, not going to fight into their 5, will simply be content to grab the tower and the range racks, as well as the melee racks middle, and play the economic game some more. They are up by 29k, and I believe they have eclipsed the lead that Funny Zone had in game number 1 when they won. That's mostly it's not second or at this point. Maybe it's an indication of the state of the game, but either way. Radiant, they are headed out of the base as 5. Looking at Dire Vision, they don't really know what's going on here. Is there smoke? There actually is no smoke. But they are headed towards the Roshan Pit area. They know it's up, I believe. If they don't know, they will know soon thanks to that Hawk from Beastmaster. Is there some kind of jump? There is a Necro being popped. They are in the pit. Does Dire know? They don't have vision of this. Radiant's picking it out, and they're going for a very crazy initiation. In comes CB's Courier. It'll spot it out. In comes Tiny. Blinks in, finds stun onto Biggie Pop by Morph, but Jax still goes down. He'll buy back. They're chasing Morph, unable to find him just yet. There's a stun from Alk on Lion. Lion, actually, he goes down to the Fade Bolt. So far, it's 2 kills, 1 buyback, but once again, Aurora does not have a buyback. And what was a sneaky Roche attempt by Radiance will turn into the inevitable Roche taking by Dire. Where does the Aegis go? Not sure just yet. Might just be that Tiny, might just be that Alchemist. And it will be Alchemist. He swaps the BKB into his backpack. Cheese will go to Tiny instead. And here we go. It might just be the ultimate high ground defense once again. Dire, they have the Aegis, they have the cheese, they're extraordinarily ahead. It might be time just to end this game. They are headed top. PMA has grabbed the wave. It is coming in soon. Radiant, though, they are defending as 5. So it might just be time for the defense. Everybody is here. There's nobody split farming. PMA, though, has Abyssal up Jax, looking for that dieback, unable to find him. Fissures are defending him. Koryak goes in. The Echo is there. It's on 2, but not to any kills. Roar is in on Alchemist, trying to stun him up. They're not able to kill this Alch. He still has the Aegis. Nobody's died just yet. Finally, the first kill will be Jack's attack. He goes down. It's a dieback. PMA, he's Hex. Is there a finger not used just yet? Fissure's doing so much stun to the backline, but they cannot find any kills. Puck goes in, doing damage, has no clue, but he's jaunting in, looking for something. He might just die here to the Morphling. He's Hexed up. Down goes Peripheral, but down goes the tower. The Millerax, they go down as well. And in comes Tiny. Tosses in Baboon. He has running out of spells. Down goes Roar. Still has no buyback. She's is popped by BCBO's East. His under Spirit Vessel. The stun is there on Alk by 2. Morphling still alive. Has that Manta. Has Waveform. Will get away. And will actually kill Notorious. But the range racks are dead top. The melee racks, the last racks alive bottom. In comes Void Spirit, looking for Tiny, unable to find him. Might look for this kill. He's dropping low. Earthshaker goes down. Down goes Void Spirit. And the defenders, they are collapsing. It's only Smiley left on the defense. In this game, it is over. GG is called. He whistles in on Smiley. Will they find the kill? They find him. And it is a 1-1. The tip comes out from PMA. A little bit of revenge for game number 1. And it will be a 1-1 series result between the Funny Zone and 5 average dudes. And we saw 2 different clinics this game. Funny Zone put on a clinic game number 1 on how to play that sort of draft, that 4P1 style. And they simply out-executed and out-drafted 5 average dudes. 5 average dudes say, you know what? This game, we are going to out-farm you because we have Alchemist. We're going to have our Tiny player go absolutely off in game 2. We're going to have Peripheral, who even though he had a rough laning phase into that Void Spirit, recover and get some very key coils off to recover his game and to ruin Void Spirit's game. And the situation just became a little bit untenable for the Funny Zone economically. Smiley was not really able to get into the game until it was too late. And Radiant was unable to really find as many tower pushes as they might have wanted to have found with Jax on that Beastmaster as well. So overall, I think both games were won by the deserving winner. Funny Zone certainly outplayed Firebird Dudes game 1, and Firebird Dudes certainly outplayed Funny Zone game number 2. And for both these teams who are on that playoff bubble, they pick up 1 win going into those last few matchups of the season. Either way, though, my name is Badger. Thank you for tuning in here for this this cast of the Funny Zone versus 5 average dudes, the 1-1 series. I will be back commentating tomorrow for Dark W versus Gang Squad at 9 p.m. EST. And I will also be back on Sunday at 8 p.m. EST for Toxic Tacos versus Coconuts Gaming. Either way, though, thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Have a great night. And, of course, thanks for watching.